Hi everyone. So it's really late here and I don't typically do videos this late in the day, especially outside of my typical posting schedule. But I really felt like I needed to come on tonight, and there were some words just kind of stuck in my head. These words were the unraveling. And it got me thinking about how at this point in the way that we've been evolving collectively and personally, there is this sense of things beginning to unravel, this unraveling taking place. But the thing about the unraveling process is it's something that happens naturally. It's something that happens automatically. And not only is it not possible for us to control that process, to control the timing of it, to control how it looks in our lives, to control how it looks to other people, how we are perceived, but also when or if we do try to, in essence, kind of control this process, we will find that it's actively resistant to being controlled. We will find almost this sensation as though it's kind of like quicksand. The more you move around in it, the more you actually sink deeper into it. So, by the way, my phone just lit up, and it also reminded me of something else I wanted to say, which is you might find recently, like on this kind of metaphoric level, you are constantly being interrupted or distracted, kind of like having notifications come through on your phone, but it's happening in your body, in your system, in your mind. I got the name Peter for some reason. I don't typically get literal names in these collective readings. So of course, only take those specific details, how or if they connect for you. But I do like to channel those as they do come up. But anyway, when we do try to control the process, it's almost like the unraveling is resistant actively to being controlled. It will almost like push back in this active way. And so this is where many of us are in this state of confusion, because many of the things that we are accustomed to doing to kind of figure things out, or to work ourselves out of a situation, or to progress in a linear fashion towards a goal, many of those things are no longer working. And so that's really what I wanted to talk about in today's video. But also, I really just wanted to say that if you're going through this, you're not alone. And also, there is nothing going wrong here. There's nothing wrong happening here. This is simply a collective, massive shift taking place. It's a massive change that you're feeling on a personal level. And not only that, but something I want to say here as well, which I know you already know on some level, but it always helps to be reminded of this. By processing this on a personal level, by going through this on a personal level, you are paving the way for others. You are a leader here in a sense, and it's not always easy being a leader because you go through things first. I see someone like leading a pack of people into some kind of war. It's like I'm seeing this man on a white horse, and he's holding up a sword and going into battle, and he's the leader. And so comparatively speaking, you are paving the way for others. You are leading other people into something, and you're making it easier for others to follow in pathways that you are carving. So I'm going to go ahead and pull some cards here as well, but I also want to address that for some of you, you might actually be feeling heightened levels of anxiety at this time. And sometimes when this anxiety comes on, it can feel completely random, especially in times when you've been in a very stable, very high vibrational place, and then suddenly you get hit with this wave of emotion or energy that almost doesn't feel like yours. And again, if that's happening for you, I want you to know that nothing is going wrong, and that in the experience of that anxiety, I'm actually hearing this is part of what you are unraveling. Wow, it's really interesting that came through, that you experiencing even those anxious moments is part of the experience of what we are calling here the unraveling. What I'm also getting as well, and I actually got this from a conversation I was having with someone just a few hours ago, earlier tonight, and it was regarding situations where you really can't think your way out of them. You can't just logically, consciously find a solution to them. And in fact, sometimes the more you try to talk about them, to figure them out, the more you kind of cycle through these old habit thoughts around the situation, the more stuck you actually feel in it instead of solving it or coming up with a solution. But when you just relax and surrender and go with the flow of the situation, you find, ironically, that things just magically begin to align and work themselves out in ways that would almost look miraculous to people on the outside. But again, the key here is really being able to surrender to the flow. And that means releasing attachments to all forms of concrete timing, because in these types of situations, we don't get to choose exactly when certain things are going to occur, when certain dominoes are going to fall and set off that kind of positive chain reaction that will lead to these manifestations. And that is what so many of us are trying to grapple with at this time. And in fact, your system is becoming so finely tuned, so high vibrational, that you are going to feel it in every fiber of your being more so than ever before in your life. Whenever you are resisting this process, even slightly, there's going to be a kickback effect. Your physical body even is going to let you know when you are beginning to resist the process a little bit. But even that is all part of the process, because it's training us into surrender, into relaxing, into that flow state. So I know I said a minute ago I was going to be shuffling, but I really am shuffling now. I got the name Emma for someone. For some reason, I saw a tent. Maybe someone is camping. I'm also just seeing this sky full of stars, which I also think is a song as well. I forget all the lyrics to the song. You can let me know in the comments the title and the artist and any of the lyrics if that's significant for you, of course. But it's interesting. I'm seeing this clear night sky, and I'm hearing something about how at night the stars are always there, but at times we aren't able to see them. And I'm hearing something about light pollution as well. It's like sometimes the light pollution around cities preventing us from clearly seeing the stars that are always there. So maybe if you're feeling disconnected internally, emotionally, energetically, you felt guided to actually change your environment. And this could be really beneficial to helping you feel more reconnected. Now, this could be your literal environment, but this also could be your social environment, changing the people that you are around, or the location, and this somehow being like that move from the urban area to the rural area that lets you see the stars more clearly. We also have the heart chakra being our first card here, and I'm hearing your heart is what keeps you grounded in the chaos. In the unraveling process we've been describing, it's number one priority for you at this time to stay connected with your inner emotional world, with what we consider to be the heart space, the heart chakra. I'm just hearing stability flows from the heart and staying connected to the heart, being aware of what you are feeling, being brave and staying connected to those inner emotions, even when they don't make sense to you or even to other people around you. I'm hearing observing what you're feeling without judging it, allowing yourself to feel what you are feeling, which sounds so simple, but so many people on the planet are so resistant to their own emotional experience. And specifically, the word guilt is coming up. So it may be that there is some point of guilt, maybe even guilt that was trained into you through your upbringing, or feeling overly responsible for someone else's growth or healing or their choices that is leading to this guilt. Only you can know how or if that part of the reading connects with you. But regardless of whether it's guilt or some other emotion, I'm seeing that you are meant to be embracing what you are feeling without judgment in order to allow it to pass through you like waves on an ocean. And this is actually assisting that process of unraveling. I really might just title this video The Unraveling, or at least include that in the title, because it feels like such a powerful but simple concept that we are allowing the unraveling in our lives. But it does lead to the question of how things got so tangled up, or why things were tangled up, how things were tangled up to begin with, what needs to be unraveled here. Let's see if I can channel anything on this. So what is it that needs to be unraveled here? Okay, so I'm getting that there might be many threads to this energy, just like if we think about, I just bumped the desk there, but if we think about a big tangled kind of knot, it often has many different threads feeding into it. So it might be the same way here, where there are actually many different threads of energy or thought that have led to this kind of tangled upness that is now being unraveled. And one dynamic or one thread of energy is releasing fear and fully moving, relying on the intuition, trusting what you are intuitively feeling and receiving as a form of guidance, releasing fears around that and having the courage to move forward with it. And I got those messages from the anxiety card reversed and the third eye chakra in the upright position. I'm hearing the louder your intuition is, the more you're going to feel it in a negative way when you try to resist moving forward intuitively, and your intuition has become very loud and very clear. So that means you are going to feel it more than most when you may try to kind of hold on to control or make some kind of logical sense, or kind of work your way out of things mentally. You're going to feel it more strongly than others. And this doesn't mean that anything is wrong with you. It's actually the opposite. You have really evolved yourself into this finely tuned place energetically and vibrationally. And what that means is you are simply more sensitive to all resistant energies, externally, but also internally. So when something externally is very resistant, very harsh, you're going to feel it empathically. But internally, when you are trying to resist something that you are feeling, something you are sensing intuitively, some direction you are feeling inspired in, and you're trying to somewhat control that instead of surrendering into it, you're going to feel that internally resistant energy, and it's actually going to be felt physically, emotionally, in other ways through your body, your mind, and your emotions. Now, of course, I always say if you are experiencing anything physical, always speak with a medical professional. I am not a doctor or medical professional, but I do want to see what else wants to come up here. I got something about the country of India. we have storm warning in the upright position. And this is sitting on the heart chakra. So someone feeling chaos in their heart, feeling maybe internal conflict. Okay, I don't know who this is for. This might even be a completely separate set of messages, but we have caring connections. So someone is feeling chaos in their heart space that is meant to push a door open to allowing in the love, care, affection, and support that they deserve. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be cared for. I don't know why I said that in the past tense. You deserved to be loved. You deserved to be cared for. So maybe there's a past situation that's still energetically alive somehow within your heart where you were not cared for or loved the way that you really deserved. And it's almost like you are healing that part of your past self that was in that situation. I'm tearing up just channeling into this because this feels so deeply intimate and emotional for someone, but it's almost like this past situation where I'm hearing I'm strong, but I'm not loved. I'm strong, but I can't be loved. It's like someone had to be strong in a situation just to survive or just to kind of make it through that situation. But they were never really truly loved or supported. And it's almost like they came out of that feeling like they always had to be the strong one, either in relationships and friendships, always the one that was supporting the other, strong for the other, but not allowed to just break down when they needed to just have those beautifully vulnerable, open, raw moments that others might see as weak. But I'm hearing falling apart in the presence of someone who steadily loves you and cares about you is actually a form of healing, because it's almost like that person or that relationship is creating a container energetically through which you are able to unravel, again, going back to that unraveling, the parts of yourself that were hurt or broken, and in that kind of falling apart, but within that safe, loved container, you can actually heal these past parts of you. So I don't know why all of this is just suddenly coming up here in the reading. Maybe you've encountered someone recently who holds this kind of a container for you energetically, or maybe that kind of person will be coming into your life soon, and you're being asked to be open to letting down your walls and being vulnerable when it feels right for you, when it feels safe for you, because that can actually be so healing to allow yourself to just break down or fall apart when you need to in the presence of someone who has held that container for you of safety and love. And I just feel as though that's something you weren't able to experience in some kind of past relationship or connection that may or may not have been romantic. This could have been within your family. Wow, very powerful messages coming through here. Let's see what else comes up in the reading. Okay, what else can I channel for all of the beautiful souls listening here? So I did get the woman holding a coin, and sometimes this can resonate with wounded feminine energy. So someone listening here might be addressing and healing some wounded feminine patterns or dynamics within themselves or in their family. But specifically, I'm getting something about fully embracing and loving who you are, not needing to merge yourself or mold yourself to be more palatable to society. It's interesting. You can kind of hear that interference on the microphone. Maybe there are people or forces who at times almost interfere with that process of fully loving yourself, and you're being guided to block out those interferences and to love yourself, to embrace yourself regardless, to remember again that you are the leader here, not the follower. I'm hearing something about taking notes. So maybe it's like other people are maybe silently, maybe unconsciously, inconspicuously, but still taking notes from you, from the example that you're living in your life. But you've stepped out of the role of the student in your life, meaning you are no longer the one taking notes from others. And I don't mean this in a prideful way. I mean that you have this compass within you, this guidance within you, this sense of who you are, this intuition. And I feel that in the past, you were more guided to be the student, to be listening and kind of absorbing information from a lot of other people and places and sources. But now you've been elevated to the role of the leader or the teacher in many of your relationships, in many of your communities. And because of this, you are not meant to be constantly seeking out what other people are doing or what their perspectives are on whatever you are doing. You are meant to be boldly leading at the front of the pack, so to speak, stepping forward, confident, connected to your intuition, knowing that you are following a path of freedom, even if you don't know exactly when you're going to get there or how it's going to unfold. So I imagine this won't be the last time that we speak on this energy. It feels like something very ancient, like something very deep. And I hope that these messages, although they've felt a little bit random, have connected with you in some way that's been personal to your own journey. And if so, I would love to hear from you in the comments underneath the video. I also always love to share with you my personal favorite tool that I use every single day to really help me to feel more clear and grounded. I personally use subliminals, and I actually listen to them every morning as soon as I can after I wake up. This is because the mind is in an entirely different frequency that first early part of the day. So this is a great time to do all of your manifestation work, all of your meditation work, if you can carve out that time for yourself in the morning. Now, subliminals, for those of you who don't know, are essentially audio meditations, but they're very different than traditional meditations. And I've personally seen much different, more powerful effects from them because they contain affirmations that are embedded within other sounds, tones, and frequencies with the goal of bypassing the conscious mind, which many people say acts kind of like a filter, and making deeper impressions on the subconscious mind, which researchers have shown that this really is the powerhouse of the mind. And so I've really found that through meditating with subliminals, it helps me to feel immediately more clear, grounded, and high vibrational. And over the course of time, using them on a daily basis, I have been able to manifest so many different things in pretty much every area of my life. So I've created my own subliminals through my app, Sound and Soulful. And you can find this app by searching in the app stores, Sound and Soulful, or by clicking the link that I'll be leaving in the pinned comment and description box underneath the video. On the app, I do have over 130 subliminals for many different areas of life. You can also listen to each of them in 10 different background sound options, depending on your preference. And you can create your own private personal playlists as well. So again, the link to access my subliminals app is in the pinned comment and description box underneath the video. So I am going to go ahead and close this reading off here. I actually may pull one final Rumi Oracle card just to kind of set the tone for the rest of your day or evening, to kind of close the loop here with the energy. Of course, if you do feel a resonance here, I also invite you always to consider subscribing to the channel and being part of our community here on YouTube. Of course, just if you feel guided to it. I do have an Instagram account as well. It is at Magnetize Yourself, where I post more energy updates, inspiration, and information. So you can follow me there also. But the Rumi Oracle card that we pulled is the Cloak of Christ, which I find so interesting because this actually came out in one of our collective readings. I can't remember if it was the main reading on YouTube or the extended reading, but one or the other last week, I remember this card coming out. So let's see what it has to say here. In the school of humanity, when you become intimate with God, you reside on the king's throne and teach the angels the nature of the divine, Rumi. And the guidebook also says, the compassion born out of your own struggles tempers the karmic weight of divine justice. We have been through the same journey you are now taking, sweet divine soul. In oneness with the divine heart, we know of your efforts and your struggles. So what is bestowed upon you now is the restoration of kindness, of mercy. My sacred brother speaks to you. He shall receive your darkness and your light, the angel of your heart and the demon of your fear. That's a very interesting message. I'm going to see if we can channel a little bit more from this as well. There is a person, place, or thing that has become like a manacle around your wrist or an iron ball and leg iron, preventing you from moving forward with the grace you have earned spiritually. You are being empowered now to shed that. Let yourself be cloaked in the Christ energy and receive the spiritual assistance you deserve now. So that feels like a beautiful place to close the reading. I just want to say thank you to whoever you are and wherever you are listening, because regardless of where or when you are tuning into this reading, you really are a co-creator here on the channel. So thank you for being part of our community here. I am sending you so much love and light energy. Take care of yourself, especially if you're experiencing some of what we've been talking about in the video today. And I will connect with you here again in the next reading.